Hello, everyone. We are back to one of your favorite experiments, the Geek and the Nerd. Had to take a little time off. I had some computer issues. I still do, but I also have had them.
Okay,
And
Mitch Hedberg.
yeah, we're doing a little bit of a reboot. Thanks to Deadpool Wolverine resetting the MCU, we decided to reset the show a little bit. So we got some new things coming at you. We got a little we're gonna do a little giveaway with our next episode when we do full spoiler Deadpool review. We got a little giveaway to go with that. We were gonna start introducing a new segment. Thanks to the brainstorming of Chuck over there, is why is Thor crying? So we're gonna have some Thor tears.
I
So
can't
we'll
wait for
start
that
bringing that
one.
to you. Oh yeah, this will be lots of chock full of fun. So this
Oh,
episode here is going to be a spoiler free discussion of some things Deadpool. The next episode is going to be just total spoilers. We're going to be coming at you with all the information, with everything going on to that and further. But yeah, so this is a little bit of a catch up and discuss many things.
so first of all, I want to start with we're rocking our Geigo swag. Thanks to Jackie's Custom Tees for hooking us up with that for Fan Expo Boston. But yeah, Danny, welcome back, man. I mean, we are living in a post San Diego Comic Con world now, as far as like comic news is concerned.
And
So,
so,
I mean,
like the Marvel stuff, there's going to be a line of demarcation, and the Deadpool Wolverine is going to be that. So it's going to be BDW and ABDW. So it's going to be like before Deadpool Wolverine, after Deadpool Wolverine. So Fantastic
well,
Four, don't care.
oh my God. Okay,
Agatha,
I mean,
whatever.
let's just start with, I mean, what broke the internet, of course, which is that Avengers 5, originally titled Avengers the Kang Dynasty, has not only been retitled to Avengers Doomsday, but they have brought back the man himself, Robert Downey Jr., set to play Victor Von Doom. I mean, talk about the Harvey Dent prophecy, either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. I mean, this is like earth-shattering news. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
This is DC kicking. This is DC getting kicked in the nuts twice. Marvel pumped him. Like, you know what? Let's go for Rochambeau number two. Because not only you take away the name Doomsday from any movie that they can ever do, which is just would have been perfect for Superman Doomsday. I mean, how matter of fact, you could have done the Superman turn into Doomsday that they did a couple of years ago. That could have been done. Well, not now. I mean, you can do it. I don't know what you're gonna call it.
I mean, are you trying to say that you're not here for facts and logic?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to shatter whatever kind of preconceived notions people had going on because first thing they have to deal this Superman movie has to knock it out the park because now
Oh,
you're dealing with
absolutely.
Deadpool Wolverine and it you get your Spider Man that's going to be coming out soon. You have, like you said, you're going to see Downey Jr. coming back as Doom. So no matter however they screw up this Fantastic Four movie, once Doom steps into it, that's a whole different animal.
I mean, and here's the thing too: is everybody's concerned that it's going to be a Tony Stark variant, or what comic are they going to do that? They just straight up told you he's Victor Von Doom. Just go with it. Like the hate that this is getting, there are two very solid camps. There is the people that are all about this and think it's going to help the MCU rebound, and there's the people like it's desperate and they're retreading and ruining a good villain. And it's like, dude, first of all, the MCU has never aligned with its comic counterparts. Can we just admit that straight up? In no storyline that they've adapted have they actually adapted it straight up from the comics.
Now they've always had to alter things because they never had their entire property. They never had the whole catalog.
Right.
So they in anytime you do a movie, it's going to be different. You can't do like Hulk from the comics. You can't have anything that powerful in a movie setting. It's just you just can't. It's not feasible. So yeah, you're gonna change it a little bit, but as long as you keep to the spirit of the character, that's all you want. As long as he's not gonna be wise, cracking, quick wit. Doom is different. Doom is noble, he's regal, and he's a dick. So that's what you're gonna get. So that's the part. It'll be more like Sherlock Holmes. It'll be more in that vein. But this is also the man that was Charlie Chaplin. So don't get it twisted. Put some respect on his name. He can act. He's gonna be more than just Tony Stark. Tony Stark was him being him and having fun. He knows the assignment.
And it's like we only see him as the embodiment of Iron Man in the Marvel Universe because of his acting ability. You know what I mean? It's one thing to read the script on the page. It's another thing to bring it to life. And that's what he did with that role. So it's like, you got to give him a chance. But I'm like, this is what Marvel needed. You guys got your foot back on the ground with Deadpool and Wolverine. Don't fuck that up. And it's like your next follow-up kind of is a fuck up because the next thing they're doing is Agatha All Alone, which nobody gives a hot shit in a warm pool.
Yeah, that was all that's done before Wolverine, Deadpool, so don't care. Fantastic Four, don't care. Don't care.
It actually started filming today.
Wow, that is so exciting that
So the day Fantastic Four starts filming, and then Superman wrapped filming today.
They better Superman and all of his amazing 5,000 friends. So back up the Brinks truck.
Every time I have a glimmer of hope, you kick it out of me like the world's worst suicide hotline operator. Life's not for everyone.
Like, yeah, you know what is it? Sideways for attention, up and down for results.
Okay, Meg. Man,
it's just a known thing.
So yeah, I mean, then we also got our first glimpse, thanks to a couple picture leaks of Sue Storm and Reed Richards for the Fantastic Four movie. I hate the way Pedro Pascal looks as Reed Richards. I don't like it at all. He looks like a Narcos extra.
It's just had Reed Richards cast. I don't know why they're doing this.
Well, they said that they only did John Krasinski in Doctor Strange 2 to shut the fans up.
Oh, you mean the people that would go to your movie and like spend money? No,
yeah, you know, like the people that made Deadpool and Wolverine make $500 million.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, that's. Let me write that down. Shut up, fans. You just give me money. Don't care what you think, dummies. Okay, that's good. All right.
Again, we're not here for facts and logic. No, that's what you're talking for. So yeah, we got our first glimpses of them. We did get a clip of Captain America: Brave New World that confirms that the Celestials are made of adamantium. So that's going to be one of the driving forces in the new movie. And also a clip of Harrison Ford as President Ross straight up hulking out in the middle of a press conference, which is definitely interesting for it. And then Nerdrotic, I have to just throw this up. I'm listening to one of his videos earlier where he's bashing Deadpool and Wolverine. And then he goes, and what do we have to look forward to next? Captain African America. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me right now? Like, first of all, Sam inherited the shield. Like, everything in Falcon and Winter Soldier set up him to be Captain America. Deal with it. Just fucking deal with it. It's not hard to believe. And then everyone's like, oh, is he going to get the super soldier serum and this and that? No. He doesn't need to. He's got a vibranium suit. Like, he does not.
The point of it is that he doesn't have the serum. That's the point of the character.
It's just people.
So according to this guy, no one black can represent America because I don't think he had a problem when U.S. Agent was Captain America.
Ugh. He was never Captain America.
So the only way you can do this, according to him, is like as long as you're not black. Okay. All right. Well, as long as you admit your truth. Like, just own your truth. That's fine. I get it. I mean, people think like that. I mean, they also, those same people kind of got their butt kicked by Jesse Owens, but whatever. I mean, whatever. If that floats your boat, if that floats your U-boat, Have at it, Hoss. I mean,
Did you just say that floats your U-boat?
yeah, yeah, we're going there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then DC kind of really had a flat line at Comic-Con. The only real news that we got was the official DC Studios logo, which is going back to the old school star DC logo from the 80s and 90s, which I totally agree with that. You want something that's going to be instantly recognizable to the fans. Um, if you grew up reading DC comics, that is the DC logo to us.
Yeah, and then like they have to bring the comic fans back. I mean, they suffer from the same thing. For some reason, Marvel copied DC's homework. And they were like, "Hey, what you guys doing over there?" Like, "Oh, we're making horrible movies no one likes." I mean, we have this Wonder Woman where she rapes a dude, and that really, huh? Okay.
Tell us more about that.
Oh, what, you made other things that the fans will? Oh yeah. Fans like hating 90% of what we're doing. Ooh, we should try that. We should try that.
And then one of the bigger surprises that came out of Comic Con for me was they released a 4-minute Rings of Power season 2 trailer.
Okay,
And let me
so I don't want to hear nothing about the trailer. I'm not going to
okay.
watch the trailer. I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to tell you season 1 was crap. There is no fever dream. There is no way to say an elsewhere that because it was so divergent from the storyline. Sauron, oh, I'm Sauron, come with me. No, that's not that's not the character. That's not how he acts. They made him some kind of vagabond criminal, just slide. No, that's not Sauron. He was beautiful. You better find the prettiest man on the planet and
They
you
found
put
him.
him in an elven garb and you slap him next to the king. That's Sauron.
They found him. I will just say that Peter Jackson definitely retcons season 1 into pretty much a fever dream, and season 2 it is just Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's what you want to see. It's the forging of the rings.
Which
It's
needs
Tom.
to take, like I said before, season 1 needs to take an entire season to forge the rings because
That's what they're
he
doing.
put his essence into it secretly, which takes longer than 2 seconds. You have to show him slowly corrupt the rings. All of them are corrupted, and then they have to make them a couple. They have to make a couple of rings without him knowing it, which you can't do all that in just an episode.
So definitely seems to be like that's what they're doing. Definitely more battles. You get to see, how the rings are starting to corrupt those that have them. You get to see where Sauron's actually hiding as an elf. The introduction of Tom Bombadil is going to be their way into retconning season 1, and without going into spoilers for it, you can just tell that Peter Jackson gets this world on a level that I don't think anyone else does.
You get the Blue Wizards. He doesn't even have to show us what they do, but if you want to make that other guy from season 1 a Blue Wizard, that would make sense. If that's how the hobbits get their home because of the kindness they showed him, that would make sense.
So it looks like they're making everyone believes that this guy is Gandalf.
No.
From what I'm understanding, he is one of the blues, and this season, the other blue will land on Earth, not have the memory loss and shit, seek him out, and do the journey of the blues.
All right. So they go into the east, and they are going to start whittling down Sauron's army before he even gets started. That was their mission.
So that being said, I really, really dig the trailer, man. It's a 4-minute trailer. It gives you enough of what you needed to see to buy back into this after what season 1 lost with the fans.
Yeah, and they made Galadriel like she knew. She didn't know. No one knew. Only one person had an idea. He only had an inkling. He just knew something was off, but he didn't even know that was Sauron. He just knew something's off with that dude. I don't know what it is, but I don't like him.
So they completely shift the focus this season from being Galadriel's story to being the. So it's the A story is Celebrimbor and Sauron in disguise forging the rings, and then the B story is Elrond and Durin like rounding up the armies to start taking on these orc forces and stuff that are developing.
Good.
But Galadriel is very much a day player in the B story.
because but that's what she was. Like she she rose to prominence later on, but she didn't start off as like the main feature. So why would you
Right.
do that? That's not how you build a character.
Well, and I think we can admit, because we both talked about it privately, that the Elrond Durin relationship was the best part
Oh
of
yeah.
season one.
The
Like,
conversation they had is you were gone for so many years. He was like, you know what? You're right. I forgot how 20 years to you mean something. For me, it's a blink of an eye. So I
and
apologize.
they even have the quote back and forth where he's like, you're very dwarfish elf. And he's like, yeah, and you're really elvish dwarf. And it's like just this moment that you can just see the friendship develop, and you see like during we'd always heard about through the Hobbit movies and everything, but to see this friendship and to see Elrond in a totally different light, that was the one character that I felt like worked, where I believed that that actor was a younger version of Hugo Weaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to see them lean into that in season two, and seeing Durin watch his father get corrupted by this ring and trying to, right the ship, it's just like Peter Jackson saw season one and he was like, all right, so this was a complete waste of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two little pieces of gold you had and just fucking spin it into fucking. It's just the dude gets it, and then everybody that made season one should be rounded up and sterilized so that their genetic lines cannot continue. When you can see that Peter Jackson can take the same amount of money and just make, I think this might be the biggest swing in a season one to a season two of a TV show that you'll ever see, as far as the difference in quality, what they're marketing to, the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, because the other one was like some kind of fan flick
It,
nonsense.
I mean, it's a perfect segue. It felt like the Acolyte version of a Lord of the Rings property. It felt like
Oh
that it was.
yeah. Oh yeah. Now we get to talk Star Wars. Oh yeah. Full of plot holes and spelling errors. So for all y'all, I have watched Star Wars. I mean, at the beginning, I was born in the 70s. I'm an 80s baby. Never was that big a Star Wars fan. At that age, I could pick out the plot holes. The older I got, the worse the plot holes got. So I was more Star Trek than Star Wars. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they weren't the movies weren't as exciting or anything like that, but they had more heart. The characters were more well developed. The races were more fun.
I can think of it like, and this is coming to me live in the moment for the people watching this. Rings of Power and the Acolyte are the exact same thing, in the sense that they took arguably some of the world's most recognizable IP, fucked with the canon just for the sake of fucking with the canon, and then trying to insert things like Galadriel's storyline and trying to make it seem like she mattered is the same thing they do in The Acolyte with the lesbian space witches. And then inserting Plagueis in there for no reason in the end of The Acolyte is like inserting the stranger trying to say he's Gandalf. And the parallels are insane. And the fact that Star Wars was written, directed, and produced by Harvey Weinstein's former assistant, and you fail upwards in Hollywood. And
Yeah.
this is how it's a Star Wars
So,
show.
but
And
my
it says,
question is, if you wanted to do that, why not just talk about the real space witches, like
right,
where Huntress came
the
from?
Night Sisters. The Night
Get
Sisters.
go into that planet's lore is really cool. Like that's something on Star Wars I like. Get into that. You could have went through the backstory to get to where you got the main sisters that developed Huntress, and you could have had all that lineage. And then when you show Huntress, when you finally bring her out, because you need to show her beginnings. When you did that, you would have had all that backstory coming. That would have been great. Do so, but everything in Star Wars doesn't have to be Skywalker and Palpatine and nonsense. It's so boring. How is a universe that big and it's only like two families? It's
Hold
gross.
on. Get ready for this. And then the worst part is they make it seem like Plagueis learned how to create life from the forest from the lesbian space witches, and watching this show just makes me want to ice myself with Sebuku. Like, would you rather watch a new episode of The Acolyte? Which, first of all,
Plagueis
I
was
want
one of the most well versed Sith lords. So he learned stuff he learned a lot, but no, that was supposed to be something that was like deep in the darkest realms of Sith lore, where he found out about that. So now he just got it from them.
And then so here's the thing that you didn't know. So everybody was wondering, how could all these Jedi be being murdered and they don't know about the Sith because this takes place before Phantom Menace. So the best Jedi in the whole show, the dude from Squid Game, the Asian guy, not only do they kill him in the most ridiculous way at the end, they have one of the black lesbian sisters lie to the Jedi saying that this dude killed all the Jedi. He just went off the deep end. And that's how they explain the Sith away. And here's the best part. The final scene is them telling this story to Master Yoda.
Yeah, Jedi are dumb. Jedi are the bad guys. I mean, the Empire are also bad, but the Jedi are equally bad. So yeah, they're dumb. They're their whole. So they what was it? They wanted to you to help police the universe like Vulcans with no attachment and on pure logic without having the logic and intelligence of a Vulcan. So that's like a Romulan coming out saying, I am now going to rule the universe with pure logic. But I'm gonna get all of my fifis all the time about everything and totally screw this up. So get ready, people. You're in for a wild ride.
Alrighty. And then let's move on here to the meat of this episode, which is going to be our spoiler free, relatively, review of.
Spoiler free.
Okay, arguably.
You're gonna see Wolverine, you're gonna see Deadpool, they're gonna be in costume and they're gonna fight.
And here's the thing. I can honestly say, after watching this movie the better part of 5 times now, this is my favorite MCU film that they've ever made. I loved No Way Home. I loved Endgame. I loved the original Iron Man. This did something for me on a level of being an MCU fan and being a comic book fan that I don't think any movie has ever reproduced for me. And I say that meaning The Dark Knight. I say that meaning Endgame, stuff like that. This was more rewarding if you have stuck it out as a Fox Marvel fan before the MCU developed. If you were there in the days of Blade, in the days of the Bryan Singer X-Men, of the Ben Affleck Daredevil, things like that. This paid off so many loose ends, and it could have just been gratuitous cameos and gratuitous references, but it ties it together in a thorough story that has so much more heart than people are giving it credit for. I mean, I really want to talk about the heart on this because there are several moments in this movie where I was legitimately tearing up in a way that I teared up when Peter disappeared in Infinity War. Like, it was that level.
All right, so what they did is they took the campiness of Deadpool and they took the heart of Logan. They put it together, and then they gave you teasers in panels like they did in Watchmen, and they mixed it all together with amazing writing. This is my problem with these movies, is the writing and the directing is crap. The writing in this movie is amazing. The directing is phenomenal. Anybody that you hear complaining about any of the villains don't know what they're talking about, because the villain had motivation. You don't have to agree with it, but it worked in the context of the movie, and they did a great job at it.
And also on that note, I want to add, and this is not a spoiler, the visual effect of her using her powers was so well done and so creepy at moments.
Okay, we gotta teach you how to say things without spoiling.
What all I said was the VFX of her
You know
power.
what? I didn't say he, she. Nobody knew what the
Oh,
villain was, a guy
everybody
or
knew.
girl.
Everybody
I
knew
don't care
Cassandra
if
Nova
people
was the
know.
villain.
I go into things because if I know one thing, I know everything. So that's why I don't. I do my spoiler review in a way because you can't know. You can't know because you give
I
me a
will
hint of
say
something
this.
and I figured out half the movie already, and now it's boring. I don't want to see it.
I will say this. As far as post credit scenes, Marvel usually uses them to set up the next movie, tease the debut of a coming character, something like that. The post credit scene for this is the most Deadpool
Yeah.
in the it like you know what I mean? It's perfect. It doesn't say it does not spoiler. They're not setting up the next movie or something like that. You
No.
know what I mean? It's its own thing. And people were disappointed by it. And I'm like, that's the most Deadpool thing. And it you just look at that scene a totally different way after the post credit scene. So I mean, Danny, this was your first time.
That was, yeah, that was it. Was like you say, it's a Deadpool ending, just like when Spider Man. He goes, "What are you waiting for? Just go home, go, just go." Yeah. Oh, they didn't set up nothing. Not everything has to be the same. So first they complain, everything's always the same. Then you do something different, then they complain, well, that's different. That's not the same thing as everything else. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. You got to try every now and then. You have to try something. It's not always going to work. So I'm not going to get on you for trying something new. I'm going to get on you for continually doing something that fails. The whole last phase was just reiterate, just keep on repeating failure. That's a problem. This is new. This is different. So don't complain about this new and different now because they just do retreading the old stuff. Yeah, the stuff you said you liked, and then they did something different. You say you didn't like that. Why they just do what works? So they did that. Oh, I don't like it. It's the old stuff again. You have no concept in reality if that's all you're doing. You just want to complain. So if you want to complain and that's all you want to do, like a petulant child, because your parents obviously did a horrible job raising you, then fine. This is why kids need to get beat, because that would have been beat out of you a long time ago. This is why they need to
That's
be
right, folks.
bullies. Bullies would have beat it out of you a long time ago. But now you just want to
That's right,
complain about
folks.
incessantly about little minutia. Shut up.
So remember, if you take nothing else from this episode, folks, is that Danny Beatty from Get Your Geek On says, beat your kids. All
I'm pro
right.
beat. Yes.
I mean, and so this was the first MCU movie you've seen in theaters in a while. What was the experience like? Because I think number one, we have to say this is a movie you have to see in theaters.
Yeah, the visual
Don't
effects are yeah, you got to see it in theaters because there's a lot going on, and it's not like the Avengers where there's all this action and 10 characters in the screen. No, it's just the visual effects themselves are best seen in a movie theater.
and not just that, but the reactions of fans to different parts of this movie are something that you will remember. In the same way that No Way Home and Endgame had those moments where it's like seeing that with a group of people was something you'll never forget. Or those of us that saw, the Beautiful Creatures trailer.
That
It
was
was
amazing.
it was a moment like that, which is hilarious. I was telling Danny, those that know Guy go know the Beautiful Creatures story at this point, and that movie was just added to YouTube's free movies, and it came up in my feed as like this horrid reminder of like,
They knew.
remember,
Yeah.
remember when 300 people didn't know why you were cheered, like. And the fact that we've gotten to tell that story to Kami Garcia, who wrote the books, is one of like the most full circle moments of my life, which is what the Deadpool and Wolverine movie was. It was full circle for Wolverine's character, for Deadpool. It hits the Deadpool one-liners and zingers that you're looking for. But like I said, I can't emphasize enough the heart that very subtle lines in this movie that will tug at your heartstrings.
Yeah, it reminded me of Logan, and it reminded me of a certain part of the Logan of the old man Logan story that they didn't have in the original. That part I'll talk about in the spoiler portion.
I
The
mean, and
spoiler zone.
this is not spoiler, but let's touch on this real quick. The suit, Wolverine in the suit, finally after 25 years, and the fear was always, oh, it's not going to translate, it won't look cinematic. It's the best looking comic book suit I've ever seen in a movie.
So this is now enough with the CGI, enough with put them in stuff. Make real helmets, make real suits, put the people in costume, let them go at it. That's it. Enough. Enough. Give your special directs department, let them just work on backgrounds and other stuff. They shouldn't be doing everything, shouldn't be CGI.
I mean, let's be honest here for a moment. Really try to think. I will maybe Iron Man's Mark One, but as far as a suit that I like more, because they've all gone to the CGI helmets. So him actually having the mask and it being a real thing with the white eyes and everything, and knowing that that's real and he's in it, it it's the biggest culmination I've ever felt because Wolverine is the character that you associate with that suit. And the fact that we've had Hugh Jackman for 25 years and never put him in that suit. There was the deleted scene of the Wolverine where he opens it on the plane and stuff, but even that was a very muted version. This was the straight up X-Men 97 cartoon fucking Wolverine.
Yeah, because all right, so the version they gave you on the plane, that was his main suit. The brown is what most people saw if you were an 80s, 90s baby. Because that's what he wore was the brown. He wore the blue and yellow when he first came out. And then later on, like when Jim Lee, like when they revamped the X-Men. But like for the most part, he was in the brown, like most of my life. So that's why when he opened up that case, they had the brown one in there.
I mean, let's just talk about it for a second. We won't say in what context it happens in the movie, but when the mask comes on for that first time, as a lifelong Marvel fan, what was that moment like for you in the theater?
Cool. Yeah.
And again, no spoilers here. It comes
You are leaking more stuff with your no spoilers.
No, but it comes at a perfect time of the movie. Like it's not a wasted bit. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh, let's just throw him in the mask to throw him in the mask.
So now everyone, you know, the mask is coming, so you just wait for it.
Dude, and I don't understand how it took 25 years to get it. I'm happy. I think that there's great things in this movie that I'm looking forward to a Blu-ray release because I know there's going to be an extended version and some deleted scenes and stuff like that. I will say this, there are some jaw-dropping moments in this movie where it's either as a comic book fan or as a comic book movie fan or both, you're going to get rewarded with some great payoffs. And it's the complete opposite of what we've dubbed nostalgia porn that other movies have thrown at you. You know what I mean?
No, this is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters started this. When the way they made that movie with the old transitioning to the new with all the nostalgia, but still pushing it forward. That's what everyone go watch it, take notes. That's how you make movies. That's why this movie worked.
And I will touch on this in our next review, but there is a franchise that Marvel could very easily start anew because of this movie.
Oh yeah. I mentioned them making that like a year ago that they needed to do it.
I mean, and I walked out of the theater grinning ear to ear and just listening to people loving this movie. And that's what old school Marvel was to me. Like, Danny, think of the amount of times, we met Rashad, we met so many people at Marvel movies just shooting the shit talking afterward because they were awesome movies and you wanted to talk to everybody about what happened. And this was a return to that, which is the first time I've really felt that since Endgame. And Endgame, even more so, had this billing of this culmination of 20 movies and this and that. Deadpool is its own culmination of the Wolverine cycle and Ryan's cycle in this, but it hits so hard with a great story. Like Endgame had no choice. It had to be their most amazing movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This could have very easily been a misstep. if you had the wrong director, if you had the wrong writers. You know what I mean? Everything came together perfectly for this movie, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera. And I think it shows from beginning to end.
It's worth the price of admission.
So we'll end with our overall ratings out of 10. I'm going to say this is my first 10 out of 10 movie in a long time.
I give it a 12.
There you go. All right, guys. So as we said, we are going to be introducing some new segments here. I'm also going to be chopping up this show and throwing it on our TikTok, which is really cool. But one of our new segments every week previously was the corny hoe of the week or what grinds your gears. Now it will be why is Thor crying? And this week I submit to you that Thor was crying because someone forced him to watch The Acolyte. So that's definitely it for that. Danny, we do have a Funko Pop to give away as well, which is a very cool Deadpool pop. And I think we decided that the winner of this pop is going to be who gives us the funniest reason why they think Thor was crying.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the show, that's going to be on the next episode. We talk the full Deadpool. We're going to talk about that one. And
so definitely start thinking of your excuses now. But we're also going to take fan-submitted reasons every week of why they think Thor is crying. So head on over to our TikTok and comment on the post. It's really great. We will be back next with our Deadpool full spoiler review. This one's going to be a deep dive, folks, so fucking strap in. But yeah, we've got some great new content coming. Danny is going to be coming up in person shortly, so look forward to some in-person dual recording. And then hold on one second, Danny, before we go off frame. I may be wearing my awesome Geigo shirt, but our friends over at Jackie's Tees also whipped one of these up for our main man, Danny, there. So we want to thank them as a sponsor of the show. And definitely look forward to some great new content, especially as we go into Rings of Power debuting a week from now. I'm now doing Friday weekly reviews straight at the theater. We're back to a weekly show format. Like I said, we're really going to be expanding our reach on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, things like that. So be sure to follow us along. But yeah, for the new revamped version of Geek and a Nerd, that's going to wrap things up for me. Danny, any final thoughts?
No. Everybody have a fun time and thank you for watching.
All right, guys. Remember, you have a chance to get your week on. Come with us to get your geek on. I've been Chuck T. Watts.
I've been D.
You guys have yourselves a week.